Hello, I'm Chuck Zimmerman, president of Zimcom and one of the founding team members of the Crystal Pig Hunt Club. This deer season at our mid-Georgia hunting lease property, I was selected to test drive a John Deere Gator XUV model 855 MS4. The idea is to show how this vehicle can be so helpful to hunters, so we've done our best to show it to you in action. The model year 2021 unit we received via local dealer Blanchard Equipment was equipped with brush guards and front and back windows. That's very helpful for the kind of weeds and vines that we have to run through. And did I mention this is a diesel vehicle? I've driven many utility vehicles, but this was my first diesel. So let's get started with a little bit about what's new on this model that I was most impressed with. And this includes improvements to the transmission controls, the digital displays, gear positions, and power steering. That power steering is huge when you've got very tight turns that come up real fast, like on some of our trails. And the steering was so simple and easy, it was amazing. So some of the key uses for a Gator for us are hauling corn to fill feeders, and we've got a number of those around the property, getting to and from our stands, and hauling out a harvested deer back to camp, which, also includes a little driving off the trail, so to speak, to find them in the woods and get to it. The standard lights package also provided more visibility at night than any vehicle I've driven, and that came in very handy on quite a few nights when we were hunting end of day. So let's see some footage of the Gator in action, and I'll end with a recap there on location before the unit was returned to John Deere. I want to just kind of go over a couple of the features here that we like and a couple things that we might have a suggestion on. First of all, with this model, we have the ability to seat 4 people, and that's just incredibly handy for getting us to, several of us, to a couple different stands in the morning, for example, or besides the cargo bed in the back, still having more room here to stow stuff. Like if I open up this back seat, first of all, it becomes just a platform that I can put stuff on, and that's handy to have. And then hiding back underneath it, we've got a couple of compartments that we can store stuff in as we're moving. So that's been some very useful elements of it. Of course, we've got our seat belts here and netting that we can click in for a little bit of extra either safety or depending on what kind of terrain we're in. And then as we look, this is a diesel, by the way, didn't know if I mentioned that, but we've got unlike some earlier editions, we've got a nice little display here that can show us what gear we're in, speed, a number of different indicators that are just handy to be able to have. As we look at it, here's our cup holders. And I bring up cup holders because one of the things that we did find is if I want to put this thing down all the way into, say, high gear, and I've got a big old Yeti tumbler in here, that just doesn't work. So I can put a small cup in here, but not a tall one. That's something I don't know what might be able to be accomplished, but it's a suggestion. It'd be kind of handy. We've got a kind of a glove compartment over here to store stuff. This unit also came with front windshield and back, and of course, and a roof here too. So really well-rounded unit. Things like the suspension, the power that this thing have got are just fantastic out here, because like I said, we're in some tough terrain. It's real up and down kind of stuff, and depending whether it's wet, dry, this Gator just doesn't seem to care much. This cargo bed has plenty of room, and it's very, very easy to open that up if we need to dump something, or if we need to take a look inside for whatever reason here. So very, very simple operation. I like the tie downs in the back here so that we can, depending on what we got in here, whether it's, in our case, bags of corn, feed corn to go into a feeder, we can tie stuff down and have it secure. This railing right here actually is pretty handy for whoever's sitting back here to hold on to. And one thing we don't have, which would be really nice, and it's an accessory, is something to you put like a gun rack to put our guns on, so that we can be as safe as possible when we're moving across to our feeder or back to camp, and not have to worry about that kind of thing. So that would have been kind of handy, no question about it. One thing that I gotta mention, just because everybody that got in and out of this, including me, these bars, which of course serve a very good purpose if you've ever taken a sharp turn and there's nothing to stop you from falling all the way out, if for some stupid reason maybe you didn't have your seat belt on or whatever it might be. You got to really get used to the fact that when you get in, that's not real comfortable to sit down on. That's all I'm going to say. So we had a little bit of bruising on my thigh once or twice, and just got to mention that, because I don't know how you might change that, but it is something that's kind of uncomfortable. Maybe if they were padded or something, I don't know, but it's just a thought. This bar right here with the ability to easily stand on to get up into the cargo bed, very handy. I want to thank John Deere for allowing me and my hunt camp members to use one of the newest Gator models. We've had a very successful season, and using a Gator made it a lot more enjoyable. I hope we can do it all again next year.